Hello everyone, and welcome to Retro Brick Reviews, where today we will be taking a look at LEGO Harry Potter set number 40419, the Hogwarts Students Accessory set. The set includes 4 minifigures, one from each Hogwarts house, 53 pieces, and it retails for about $15 in the United States, or about 2 gold galleons, 6 silver sickles, and 7 bronze nuts. And the set is a LEGO store exclusive. And without any more further ado, let's begin. Our first figure and our Gryffindor representative is Harry Potter himself, and this figure is quite a nice one in my opinion. We'll get to his accessories in a minute, but first off, he has the standard Gryffindor jumper that has appeared in a fair amount of sets at this point, including a couple of polybags, but it is still nice to get. You have the detailing with his tie, as well as the red and gold stripe near the bottom. And turning that around the back, you can just see the continuation of the jumper details, with some wrinkles and the continuation of that stripe. This set is based on Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, so all the figures included have the standard height black minifigure legs, so nothing special there. For the Order of the Phoenix and Half-Blood Prince sets, Harry's hairpiece is the classic Mutt Williams hair in black, which is a relatively common piece, but it works really well for this figure, and with this face print, which was introduced last year for the Prisoner of Azkaban and Goblet of Fire sets, but honestly, I think works even better here with this hairpiece and this height. He has this primary expression, which is just a sort of standard smile, not much emotion behind it. And we do have a more cross expression around the back, which I might like just a bit less, honestly. It still looks very good and very accurate to Daniel Radcliffe's portrayal of Harry, but I think this front face works just a bit better. For accessories, Harry, as well as every figure in the set, does get a dark brown wand, and if you don't know how these work, these wands come in sets of 2, and they are designed so that they can be held straight up, as you see here, or they can be pointed outward, the idea being that this would be for dueling. And I really like this wand piece. They introduced it in 2018, back with the first wave of the Harry Potter revival sets, and I just think it's a pretty perfect element, honestly. Harry's other accessory, one that's far more interesting and unique, is this printed 2x3 tile of the Marauders map. And just taking a bit of a closer look at that, if we focus, here we are. So we can see that the map is very well detailed with lots of intricate printing in the medium nougat color with the finer lines and the designs on the cover, including the outlines around the Marauders map words being in reddish brown. And I think this map is pretty fantastic, aside from the fact that I don't like how Draco's name is on there, because it does relegate this to a very specifically Order of the Phoenix Half-Blood Prince era, and I think I would have preferred if they'd made the name tag a lot smaller and just made it just illegible what the name is, because that's another thing. The name tag on here is absolutely massive. I get that they did that so that you can read the name, but it would not be nearly that big, because it is taking up, 10% of the map's surface area. So yeah, I would have shrunk that down, but overall it's still a really fantastic accessory to get, and it is exclusive to this one set. So yeah, really great accessory, and just moving that out of the way, that is this set's figure of Harry Potter, the boy who lived. And while all of the parts on this figure are fairly common, their combination here is exclusive to this one set, So if you're going around collecting every figure from this line, this is one that you will need, and I just think it is a really good-looking figure of Harry Potter. Our next figure is Hannah Abbott of House Hufflepuff. This is the first ever minifigure we've had of Hannah Abbott, although much like Harry, none of her parts are unique to this set. She shares his black legs and dark brown wand, but this time her torso is the jumper for Hufflepuff, which is a really cool piece to get in this set since prior to this, the only set to feature the Hufflepuff uniform was the Hogwarts Great Hall, which was a $100 set that only included one of them. So, this is a really good thing for Hufflepuffs since now they'll be able to more densely populate their house in LEGO form. The details are very similar to the Gryffindor torso, albeit with different spacing for the wrinkles, but other than that, you have the same designs for the tie and stripe, except now instead of being red and gold, they are yellow and black. And around the back, you have the same sorts of details, where you just have the stripe and wrinkles continuing around. Her hairpiece is one that is relatively uncommon, although it does appear in some recent sets, such as the Friends Central Perk set on Phoebe. But if I'm correct, the first set to include this hairpiece in this color was actually the 2010 Hogwarts Express on the original Luna Lovegood figure, so bit of a fun fact there. Her face print also has appeared in Harry Potter sets before, although this one was a lot more recent, as Hannah's face print, which was originally created for the character of Ellie Sattler from Jurassic Park, has previously appeared in LEGO Harry Potter last year on 2 of the 3 variants of Fleur Delacour. Here is the figure from the Triwizard Tournament Hungarian Horntail Challenge, and yeah, it's the same face print. Personally, I think it works much better on Hannah than it did on Fleur. Plus, Fleur did get in the carriage set a more accurate face print, so I don't really mind the reuse here, honestly. I think that this main expression provides a very good likeness to the actress who portrayed Hannah. The alternate face, though, I don't think will ever look like anyone except Laura Dern, but oh well. Again, it is the alternate expression, and so you can and will just use the main expression most of the time. And again, I'm fine with that, since Hannah is very much a background character in the series, so I'm glad that they at least took the time to pick out one face that suits her quite well. Aside from her wand, her other accessory is this golden lantern, which has a yellow brick inside, and I really like the gold lantern. It is none too common, although it has appeared in a few sets, including the aforementioned Beauxbaton's carriage. But yeah, this is the first time we're getting it as a handheld lantern in the Harry Potter series, and yeah, there isn't much else to say about Hannah here. Nothing unique, but just, again, a very good-looking figure, and I'm glad to add her to my student collection. Representing Slytherin, we have Draco Malfoy, and his torso, much like Hannah's, had previously only appeared in the Hogwarts Great Hall, and in only one copy at that. So, again, if you want to build up your selection of students using the modern Slytherin uniform, this is definitely your best bet. Again, it has the same designs as the Gryffindor and Hufflepuff torsos, just now with green and gray. And again, the wrinkles are in different positions, but that really doesn't do anything for the design. Just differentiation, I suppose. Around the back, same things. Again, all of the torsos are, aside from the wrinkles, the same except for the coloration of the details. But the coloration does a lot to change how they all look, so it is very important. Draco's hairpiece is one that is a piece that originated in 2012, but in this color it is new for 2020, and only appears in the 2 sets this year featuring Draco, that being this set and the Hogwarts Astronomy Tower. So obviously this set is the much cheaper and easier way to get this hairpiece, and I think that it looks very good for this age of Draco. Yeah, very accurate to how he looked in the Half-Blood Prince specifically. Draco's face print is one that was introduced last year for the Star Wars Resistance sets, and I think that, for what it's worth, it works pretty well for Draco. My only complaint is that the eyebrows are too dark and too thick, but other than that, I think that the eyes and mouth actually work pretty well for Draco Malfoy, so I really don't mind the reuse that much. He does get an alternate face print, which is much more aggressive, and I don't like this expression as much for Draco. Like, it still works fine, but I think this loses a good amount of the likeness that was present on the main face, but it still looks pretty good for Draco, just not nearly as good. But as reused head prints go, this one is, I think, a good call on LEGO's part. For accessories, he gets the same dark brown wand as all the other figures in the set, as well as this bright green apple, which is a relatively common piece, but it is still nice to get since it doesn't come in any of the other Harry Potter sets. And in general, it doesn't come in very many licensed sets anymore, it's mainly in other themes. So yeah, nice to get the apple. Not much else to say here. Draco is another good figure. Again, nothing exclusive, although that hairpiece is quite uncommon, only appearing outside of this in a $100 set, along with the torso. So yeah, very good figure of Draco. So now let's move on to the last figure of this set, which is the only one to feature any actual exclusive detailing. Representing my house, House Ravenclaw, the final figure in this set is one Miss Cho Chang, who, of course, we have previously gotten a Cho Chang minifigure in the LEGO Harry Potter Collectible Minifigure Series 1, but as we'll see in a minute, this figure does have some minor differences that do make it unique from that collectible version. Starting off with the torso, it is, again, same story as all the others. The tie and the stripe are very well done, this time in light gray and dark blue. The wrinkles are, again, slightly different from all the others, and also slightly different from the CMF version. You can see that while the ones on the right side of Cho's torso are exactly the same, if I can just get it in frame well. What is different is how on the left side, you can see that on the original it was pretty much horizontal and in line with the stripe, whereas on the new version it is at much more of a diagonal for that one wrinkle. But other than that, the torso print is exactly the same as the CMF version. I don't know why they changed that, but they did for some reason, so new torso. And again, around the back, same thing as all the others, same exact wrinkle configuration here as the CMF version. Yeah. Cho's hairpiece is the princess hairpiece that they've had for over a decade at this point, and it's kind of interesting since this set is based on Order of the Phoenix, and the CMF figure is based on the Goblet of Fire, yet the CMF figure has a hairpiece that is much more befitting of her Order of the Phoenix look, whereas this figure has a hairpiece much more befitting of her Goblet of Fire look. Strange. Anyway, you can see that her front face print is exactly the same between both versions, although this hairpiece allows us to see it a bit better, and I feel as though the printing does do a very good job at replicating the likeness of actress Katie Lang, who portrayed Cho in the Harry Potter films. However, the skin is definitely darker than it should be. I think it would have been much closer to her likeness if they had just stuck with the light nougat color they use for, say, Harry Potter, as opposed to this standard nougat. Anyway, while the front face print is exactly the same as the CMF version, she does now get a new alternate face. If you are curious, the CMF was completely devoid in that department, and she has a very depressed expression, and also a very worried look. I think depressed is probably a bit closer, but anyway, I think this face print is fine. Maybe not the most accurate look for Cho, but I think the emotion it gets across is pretty good and in line with her character in the books more so than the films, but still the films to a reasonable extent. Yeah. Cho's accessories are that dark brown wand, as well as a book, which is the standard brown book piece we've gotten in a lot of Harry Potter sets. And if we flip that open, we can see that inside we have blank pages. Yeah, okay, that's a little disappointing. I mean, I don't know why they didn't just put the Wingardium Leviosa 1x2 tile print in here that we've gotten in several other sets from the past couple years. But, if they didn't want to do that, there are a couple of books in the Astronomy Tower that feature stickers just to show pages with nothing but squiggly lines on them representing words and text. So, I don't know why they didn't just print those pages, because then, not only would that have taken 2 stickers off the budget and created a generic inner book piece that they could use for pretty much every book they do from now until the end of time, but specifically it would have worked well here. Alternatively, why not just put, like, I don't know, a letter inside of this book? I mean, there are several things you could have done. I just think it's pretty unfortunate to leave it completely blank. But overall, that is Cho Chang. She is the special, advertised, exclusive minifigure of this set, but being entirely honest, I think she is definitely my least favorite of the 4. She still looks nice, but the face print is the wrong color, and I think that the book accessory is also a little lackluster, but it does go well with the main build of this set, so let's take a look at that now. Aside from the minifigures and their accessories, the only build in this set is this very simple bookcase. It just takes up 2x4 studs of space, and you have these dark brown cylindrical 1x1 bricks on the front. Around the back, they just opt for standard brown bricks. You have some gold stud detailing, and you have some tiles representing your books inside. A 2x2 dark blue tile, a 1x2 dark tan plate, and a 1x2 tan tile. And I don't like how they're all different thicknesses. I get why they did it, as I'll explain in a minute, but I think it would have looked better if they were all 2x2s, just to create some consistency there. But anyway, if you're curious, this is how it scales with a minifigure, so it is just a little bit taller than a figure. And what you can do is you can just take the book Cho comes with, and there are 2 studs in height of space left in the gap here, which is exactly as much as you would need to slip in her book. So that can just go into the bookcase. There is enough space for it to fit in, but there is not enough space for it to slip out the other side, so it is essentially locked in there, which I really like. And yeah, there isn't much else to say here. I'm pretty sure they just went with the 1x2s in there to make it a bit easier to slip the book in and get it out. But I still think it would have looked better if they'd kept it consistently 2x2, but oh well, that's something very easy to rectify, and it still looks good enough as it is. And I think it looks a lot better when you do have the full-size book piece in there. But anyway, that's pretty much all there is to say about this build. So let's take a look at the packaging, instructional pamphlet, and extra pieces before we wrap up this review. Much like all of the recent minifigure accessory sets from the last couple years, this set comes in a blister pack shaped after a LEGO minifigure. You can see that we have at the top the LEGO Harry Potter logo, using the gold coloration we've had since 2019. On the left, we have all of the set's information. On the right, we have the 4 minifigures and the build shown off. At the bottom, we have a little area with the Wizarding World overall theme logo. Since technically this is a part of the Wizarding World theme, even if we're all just going to say that this is a LEGO Harry Potter set, because that's exactly what it is. There have been 2 sets from the Wizarding World lineup that have not been LEGO Harry Potter, so this is just the LEGO Harry Potter line. But anyway, you can see that up at the top, there are actually details featuring some of the other Hogwarts sets from this lineup. Specifically, we have the Grand Staircase Tower from the Great Hall on the left, and some of the towers from the Clock Tower at the top, though these 2, as well as next to that, we have what looks to be the top of the center tower of the Great Hall. So I don't really know how this is all supposed to be situationed, since that would require the Great Hall being to the right of the Grand Staircase Tower, and you can also see right next to the Staircase Tower how you have the tower from the Clock Tower set, the tower with Dumbledore's office, so I don't really know what this Hogwarts setup is, and I don't think it's geometrically possible, but oh well. It looks nice for a background, at least. Around the back, you have a bunch of different legal info, as well as up at the top, you have the 4 minifigures displayed in their house colors, with Cho being labeled as exclusive. You have 3 of the 4 accessories on the right, with the map being labeled exclusive. The apple is just on the side under Harry, and I'm not sure of why. You can see that at the bottom I have torn the packaging a bit, and that's just when I was opening it up. Since if you want to open this, you pretty much have to rip off the bubble, or if you're like me and you want to preserve the packaging, you just slit the tape at the bottom and then just sort of pop it open and slide your parts out. But anyway, that's the packaging. It looks pretty nice. Yeah. For instructions, this set is very simple. You just get a single 2-sided pamphlet. The front side shows you how to build the 4 figures and their accessories, and the back just shows you how to build the bookshelf with a bit of legal info here at the bottom. As for extra pieces, this set is rather pathetic, although I think that's fine considering how small it is. You just have a 1x1 brown plate, 1x1 gold stud, and a pair of the little sprue pieces that the wands come on that you then snap them off of. And before we wrap up this video, there is just one more thing I want to do with this set. Just for fun, I decided to place this set's 4 figures on the house display stand included with the figures from the direct-to-consumer Hogwarts set, and while I don't think this looks that good, it is definitely an interesting way to display these figures. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that if you have that $400 set, you would want to display the figures included on that. But since these, well, printed versions of these tiles do come in a couple of sets now, if you wanted to build a stand like this and you were just wondering what it would look like, here's your answer. I think it looks fine, but I'd prefer to just keep these in a Hogwarts display. So, for $15, would I recommend LEGO Harry Potter set number 40419, the Hogwarts Students Accessory Set? Yeah, I'd say so. I think that this set is pretty great overall. You get 4 figures, which are really nice, including a few exclusive parts in the form of the really nicely printed map and the so-so updates to Cho, as well as some rather uncommon pieces like Draco's hairpiece and the torsos for both Draco and Hannah. And The bookcase build is nothing too special, but it would fit well into any Hogwarts display. Specifically, I feel as though the Room of Requirement might be a good place to put this if you have that set. So, overall, I think that the set is really good. The only thing I can think of is that, I mean, for $15, that is the same price as the average Star Wars Battle Pack. And those definitely have more interesting builds than this, so maybe you could have asked for a bit more in that department. But I can't really think of any other builds you could do, or any real ways to expand on a bookshelf. And seeing as how, much like with the Battle Pack, you would definitely be buying this set primarily for the 4 minifigures, I feel as though that doesn't really matter. So overall, yeah, this is a really great set. I'm glad I picked it up. In fact, I might even go and get a couple more copies of this set if I ever visit a LEGO store again. But anyway, this is a really great set with 4 really great figures. Thank you all so much for watching this video. But this is Retro Brick Reviews, signing off.